Hey, what's up guys, Adam here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the recently released iMac Pro. Now this was actually announced back at WWDC in June. Now this machine is no joke, it is a full-fledged workhorse. It's going to come in 4 different variants, an 8-core, a 10-core, a 14-core, and a behemoth 18-core. And coupled with that, you're also going to have access to the new Radeon cards, the Radeon 56 at 8GB of video memory, and the Radeon 64 at 16GB of video memory. And if that didn't already seem like enough, you're also going to have the variants of 32GB of RAM, 64GB of RAM, and a crazy 128GB of RAM. If you want to see some more visuals on the iMac Pro, I'll leave a link down to Marques Brownlee's and Jonathan Morrison's videos, as they did a full in-depth look on the iMac Pro. Now, design-wise, it pretty much looks identical to the current iMac. However, when you turn them around is where you're going to notice the difference. There is no longer a slot for you to adjust or upgrade the amount of RAM within the machine. So what that basically means is that all the components that you choose at the time of purchase is what's going to be soldered onto the board, and you're not going to be able to upgrade anything further down the line. So that really leads me to the question posed in the title of this video, and that is this really a professional machine? Because on one side, yes, you have a lot of high-end components, and props to Apple how they've been able to fit those high-end components in such a small form factor. But on the other hand, you also have the argument that, well, there's no way to actually upgrade and really, customize what you really want in this PC apart from at the time of purchase. And when these parts suddenly become redundant, you're not going to be able to upgrade anything once you've already made the purchase. And it was that specific thing that drove a lot of people away from the Apple ecosystem when they released the Mac Pro, the trash can Mac Pro, in 2013. And it's no secret that Apple has been turning away from their professional audience and gearing all of their gear more towards the consumer market. And that really annoyed a lot of people who are in the professional market, and actually caused them maybe to switch over to Windows so they can get back to being able to upgrade and customize a customizable PC, as opposed to being stuck with the trash can Mac Pro, where they have very little upgradability and everything has to be done out of expandability. So it really does beg the question of who is this iMac Pro going to be geared towards? Because for me personally, I think it's going to be a bit too out there in terms of price for the general consumer, but yet still I think a lot of the professionals are going to be hesitant to invest in this iMac Pro. So I know it sounds like I'm jumping the gun a bit, because I know Apple's going to be releasing their Mac Pro later on in 2018. Now, according to the Apple Insider, they speculate that this machine is supposed to have high-end specs, which is what we'd expect to a Pro machine. It's also going to come coupled with a high-end display, so maybe 4K or 5K. And it's also meant to be a modular system, which again, I'm not going to hold my breath for, because I know how Apple's been carrying themselves over the last few years. It's going to be a bit unlikely that it's going to be a completely modular machine. So this has been pretty much my thoughts on the iMac Pro, and probably also my estimations on the Mac Pro for 2018. So if you have any comments on the iMac Pro, be sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll leave all the links in the description below, and I'll catch you guys in the next tech video. Bye for now.